Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. It is Friday, February 13th, 2026, Valentine's Day Eve. What a lovely day the market is giving us today. It's been an interesting one. Let us get to the charts here. It's been a very interesting day. You'll see what in a sec here. All right, so utilities, the belle of the ball today, literally just bought some right before going live here. Did a couple of trades actually today, some false breakouts, some false breakdowns, shorted financials. It basically didn't go anywhere. If you look at the chart today, I think it's in one of these today. And then the turtle system got out of it. A couple other things, like I said, bought utilities, and also pyramided more into energy on the higher day today. But let's recap what is going on today in front of us. I can even make that a little bit bigger there. All right, so today, utilities, low vol stocks, and the equal weight, RSP, jumping higher. Really, really big days for this group. XLU did not make a new all-time high, but there is a sister ETF. I forget who runs it, but it's much less liquid. That one did make an all-time high in its history. XLU seems to be close. I think we have a chart. Low vol stocks is a different way to play RSP. We'll look at that chart as well. It's hard to AI and for Claude to make you a burger from McDonald's or take out the trash, I guess, for now, which Waste Management is a holding. It's equal weight too. It's a very nice holding. Speaking of, again, equal weight. So they're buying stocks. They're just not buying your tech or software stocks. New all-time highs for that SPLV basket, what we were talking about, low vol. In terms of when you step back on the week, where we are, I know a lot of people are going to focus on the 70 bips lower in the SPY on the week, and actually similar to the NASDAQ now, 60 bips. But really, when you look at it, when all said and done, this week was about 6 to 7% jump, rally higher in utilities, South Korea, and gold miners. Utilities, we'll look where that's been year over year. It's Friday, so we'll do the yearly recap program. But South Koreans and gold miners, we've been talking about this since like before Thanksgiving. That's not new. Gold miners especially. South Korea, more recent, crazy breakout. Now it's trading like an altcoin. But that was really this week they poured it on. So the two of those, the crowded trades get a little bit more crowded. All right, let us get into tail of the tape. All right, we'll do SPY in a second. I'll go in here, boopity boopity boppity. Bang. All right, SPY up 60 bips. We'll take a look at that in a second. One sec. Boom, boom. All right, NVIDIA down 1.5% to 184. That 190 level still so important. Really curious where they are in about 2 weeks when they report earnings after that report. It's flat on the year. A lot of expectations, of course, even though I think they're sold out for this year and the next. IWM up a massive 2% today. Its small caps continue to look good. Great way to play, the U.S. stock market and away from massive, the AI repricing that's been going on, affecting basically every industry. Apple down horrible yesterday, down another percent today. Apple, they're not feeling the love. It's down 4% on the year. Palantir up 3%, but it's been absolutely dogged. Gold up 2%. Coinbase up a massive 17% today. Let me just quickly check Bitcoin. I know it's not up nearly that much. It's up 5%, though. A nice rally for Bitcoin as well. I was seeing it earlier today when it was about 67, but it's broken through higher today. And we'll look at silver for the second here, up 4.5%. A big day for silver, up now 9% on the year. And AMD getting some love on Valentine's Eve, up 1.5%. Intraday action, I believe we had a CPI number, more Fugazi government data, but came out this morning that marked the low. So here's the announcement, 8:30, right thereabouts. They took the opportunity. This is what I mean by interesting day today. So we opened here this candle, little candlestick reading right here. We opened at 680. And then we hit a low of 677.5, and then they ended up closing it. Oh, I'm sorry, right here. Sorry, they opened it. Now you should see it a little bit better. Opened at 682. They send as low as 677.5 and then close at 680. And then from that, it's been really a nice stair step higher. VWAP now going higher at 682.5, which is below where I'm talking to you right now. We're trading 685 quarter. There is a brick wall, short term at 688.5 here. So we'll see how the afternoon goes. Again, small caps getting much of the love. As we zoom out, again, as we said, there's a lot of differentiation, bifurcation within the indices due to the software exposure and how range bound each one is going to be, or if they're breaking out to new highs, Dow 50,000, etc., equal weight, low vol. So for right now, the SPY chart, to be very honest with you, here is the 1 year. All right, so we peaked all-time highs right here, Jan 28th. It was just 16, days ago, 2.5 weeks. Very compressed here. Essentially, we've been doing, right here, we're still pretty close to the Halloween when the NASDAQ peaked, all in the same family, essentially. But you're essentially range bound between 700 and 650 going back from September 10th. So, is the market slowing down? Is it just doing fine at a different trajectory? What we're looking at here, is a little bit sloppy because you don't want to see things roll over, but definitely momentum is obviously slowed. But I still think we're in the penalty box, and I think it's going to be a sell the rip environment, though you're going to be straddled, like I said, very close to 690. I was texting a financial person this morning and still saying that pretty much the same thing. I think those levels, 700 rough thereabouts in the S&P, about 670 in SPY ought to hold. I think the story is not terrible in the United States. There's just other much, much better places to be right now. It's as simple as that. And your 200-day moving average is at 649. So not terribly, far away. But I still think this holds. I like to support 6,700. I think it challenges it. Again, don't forget, Monday markets are closed for, for President's Day. And Japan doesn't celebrate President's Day. So the global markets will go on. Konnichiwa, again, my Japanese friends. Thanks for the week and all the weeks. So this is what it looks like to me. Again, straddle to 690 in SPY, plus or minus 1. And it looks like for me, with a slow momentum, I think all-time highs in terms of the just cycles ought to come in the first week to 2 weeks in March for SPY, although a lot slower momentum due to the components. All right, let's look at stuff that they are gobbling up. It makes trading is very difficult. So you got to get yourself a system. And you got to really, to me, trend following is the way to go because you don't have to unnecessarily lose money on any kind of hope. So right now, there's always a market in front of you. XLU, we'll look at this. Utilities, okay? Rates did move today. They gobbled up bonds, TLT. I was actually also in bonds. We made a little bit today, TLT. Crazy. We're at the part of these AI cycle where bonds is the anti-AI trade. It's insane. XLU right now is overbought for the first time since its 52-week high in mid-October at 46.88. It is knocking on the door right here, right now as we speak. It is 30 cents away. I am long. It has not had a red day since February the 4th and only one red day since the 3rd, that one. So an extraordinary run here for utilities. We were talking about this, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and I said there's definitely worse places you can be than utilities. You're not going to go to the moon. But this looks absolutely great. Just many different times you could have bought. End of April, here on this overbought, and then it made you pay, though, with a beautiful test of the 200-day moving average in those early January lows held, still going upwards, and now really some exit velocity on the Utes. So utilities look very good. I did it on the Turtle breakout system. It does look a little extended. Like I said, this run began about here. So any way you look at it, it's going. But the candles, this is what you want to see. They're hanging in there, and today's the biggest one of all, up 3% nearly. So they're not getting tired. It's like that meme again. It's like, oh, the buyers are getting tired. No, they're not. Looks like this. It wasn't ready for $47 back in mid-October. We'll see if it's ready for it now. But I got to see this candle at least get a little bit smaller. They're buying first and asking questions later. My target, just in terms of charts, is about 45 half to 46. So definitely a little rich, but candle's a candle. And this looks wonderful. I want to see if they take it north of the October 16th high at 46.88 into the close. I hope they do. I am long, but utilities looking great. Like I said, you see equivalent or shorter term history. Let me see here. Yeah, it's knocking on the door. That would be the new all-time high for the XLU. And like I said, there are other Utes, lesser traded, lesser liquid ones that are hitting all-time highs today. So I think it ran by First Trust or Vaneck. I don't remember which one. it's a small one. But good to see overbought. Things look good. I think it's going to do it. You got to see that candle, up Tuesday, up 1.5%, and then it still takes it out. So the Momo looks strong with this one. Speaking of strong Momo with this one, low vol stocks, new all-time highs. So it is its time. Like I said, this is equal weight, 1% apiece, about 100 holdings. That makes sense. Waste Management, TJ Maxx, it's hard to AI close. McDonald's, hard to AI Big Mac. Coca-Cola, you get the theme here. Johnson & Johnson, Duke Energy, 1% each. ICE, Chubb, pretty diversified. CME, Berkshire Hathaway, Procter & Gamble, new all-time high today. Here's the chart. Great looking candle. Breakout from a former area. Look, it even works on here. Breakout from a former area. Former area right there is at 75.30, the March high, and mixed with an overbought registration. And note it was overbought back then on March 3rd. And look at that. We entered that territory 8-9 days ago, and we got above it. Great reason. Again, it's a low vol ETF. So if you're a swing trader or a prop account, it's going to be, a tough way to make a buck. This is a big move. We're covering a 2 sigma mover today in low vol stocks. So it is its day. But new all-time high. It's had a great run. The 200 moving average is just starting to curl now, back at 72.65, about $3.50 away. This looks wonderful. I think it's going to enjoy about another week or two at least. And my target on this was about 75.5, a great looking candle. These things are at highs right now as we speak. This one's testing new all-time highs, low vol stocks. Congrats. And then number 3, big mover, equal weight, great index. This one hit new all-time highs yesterday at 205.25, and today you see it just a little bit of it's still up 1.5% on the day, but not near the highs yesterday. Great looking chart. This is equal weight, very similar to what I just said for the low vol, but again, those specifically low vol. This is so you're going to get 1% Nvidia, 1% Amazon. This one has a little bit more juice to it in terms of its equal weight S&P 500. This one had a very nice, hit 205.25 yesterday, as we said. My target for this is 205. So it was interesting to see it give way today at the low of 200. But here again, view up right here is 202.65. It's holding up 1.5%. I want to see how they close. They love right here. It seems indefinitely to play the move from digital alpha and get away from all that beta in the indices. Great ways to play are mid caps, small caps, equal weight, and the low vol stocks. It's got to be those AI safe from disruption. Everything's being repriced. It's getting crazy. I saw CB Richard Ellis, the buildings, because if people lose their jobs, then commercial real estate will not be worth the same anymore. And they got absolutely clobbered, down like 12% yesterday. I think there are other factors, but not. I have to look deeper. But everything's being repriced. Trucking stocks. Because a lot of it's still done on systems. So there's AI repricing everything. RSP, this equally weighted stuff, the way you get into it is a great way to diversify from being, what's given you a lot of success, riding NVIDIA from 20 to 200 and got you fat and giddy. Right now it's protecting the guardrails the other way. All right, there's going to be a little bit, maybe if I stop blathering, a shorter program, than usual, because there were no losers today to the downside in multiple standard deviation manner. So today, an absolutely digestion day, looking around at the roulette table and saying, what else can we buy? What else can we put pieces on here that we haven't? Top 3 gainers of the past 5 days. If you were in these, you absolutely been crushing it this week. Number 1, X to the L to the U. We talked about it a little bit ago, so I'm not going to kick a dead horse here, or a very, live stallion, I should say. I wouldn't kick it though, because you're probably going to get abused. Utes up 7% in the past 5 days, percent and change a day. Today, picking up steam, up nearly 3%. Looks like it's closing in on the all-time highs from October. 7%, this used to be like, 6 months, maybe 9 months, or even possibly a year of gains in utilities. I know it's different now because of the whole energy demand play that's affiliated with AI, and we're going to need it. So this chart looks like this. And they haven't, it looks great. 7%, that's a big, big week. No bearish divergence, though. Candle looks great. This probably looks higher. I'm happy to be in. If you want to get in right here, right now on the breakout, here, look at this right there. And then you can see in the yellow to the bottom left there, 0.78 is your ATR. So, $1.60. You can get it right here. Chase it because I do think it looks like it's going to go higher. If it drops to 45 even, you get out because there's a very good chance it gets to 44, and that's a better entry in the same theme. All right, number 2, South Korea. My goodness. Samsung must be, I don't know what. They must be doing a lot of great things there in the AI memory game. Who knew that would be worth money? Huh. So this looks great. This is still going to have another bullish week. This is like trying to get Taylor Swift tickets, standing room only for this thing. I hope the 1 month high, the high is 134.30 breaks. So my turtle system says to get in it. That might happen in the next 3 hours. So I'll be watching, putting in a stop limit buy order for that. An amazing place. We're going to do the year-over-year recap. South Korea, Samsung, and Hynix, 40% of this basket, and folks are buying it that way. I think it has another week to go for this, straight, just northbound move higher, but my target is about like 131. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's a little bit of a back and fill, not aggressive to, 122, but I hopefully this breaks all-time highs and I will enter. And again, ATR, it's getting big now because this thing moves a ton every day, $4. So again, that's crazy. Position size properly, but that would be an $8 move. So you can get in at 130, 134, wait for the break or whatever, or do it right here. If it moves against the $8, that's the 126. Get out because chances are there's a very good chance it goes to 122. You get a better entry in what is, we'll see in the recap at the end, one of the absolute best stories on planet Earth, truly. That was up 7%, just a hair underneath utilities. So look at that. Utilities, South Korea, diversified, great looking portfolio. And then we're going to throw another banger at you that they flocked to this week. And diversification is the name of the game. You want to be concentrated when it's worth it. And look at this, number 3. This is a 2025 story into 26. The gold miners, how about that? Adding 6% this week. And look at that. It's up 6% today. I was talking about this before the Seahawks were getting ready to win that Super Bowl, that the metals were going to turn up again. I think you have a shot last week. Last week was the 6th. Boopity bop. It popped. Yeah, exactly. It gave you a couple chances. 98 went down to again just yesterday. And here we are at 104. Get you up to the second on this. I love setups under 99. Obviously, it's 104 now. So that train has left the station. View up on the day is 102. So they're marching it up here, up at 2% above. It was not up this high when I did this just about 40 minutes ago. So absolutely great looking move in the gold miners, up a massive, nearly 6% today. That was your third leader on the week. So some of them were chasing Utes. Half of it was almost basically from today. South Korea, just a stallion all week, all year long. And then the gold miners. That's what they bought. Let's see where the pain was, because there was some pain. And I'm sorry for you nat gas holders. I'm just glad it's 40 degrees outside. And I was able to walk my dog outside, although he didn't know what to do with any kind of snow piles. He is a very delicate dog. We looked at nat gas 2 weeks ago. I actually no Salama on the scene. I sent to a friend, my nat gas person here on Jan 30th, after this rejection. Actually, it was the second. I said for the nat gas contract, it looks like it's going to be trading 3/4 on essentially equivalent level for UNG was 1380 that day. And we're basically exactly at it. We're a little bit lower, actually. It was almost like a 1275-ish equivalent. So we're lower today. Nat gas, a nasty week, much of it coming with lesser demand on heating this week. And, of course, supply numbers that come in. The chart looks absolutely, terrible. Under a falling 200 moving average. You can wake me up from a coma. You show me that. I know where I want to play and where I don't. Down 6% this week. Nat gas, more than 1% a day. Today, reversing that trend up about 1%. I think this actually bases this week, although I'm still not ruling out a visitation to a 10 or 11 handle. It just looks weak, and there's a lot of rotation, but this has not caught the bid. Will it one day, since it's AI protected? I'm not so sure. It just looks like crap, and they released ChatGPT a while ago. So this thing peaked in March of last year on a 52-week basis and just really fell out. No reason to own it, honestly, since the end of June. Just zero. I think this basis, though, and then you get somewhat of a dead cat bounce, frustratingly, to about 13 even. So lesser, you're going to see some vol compression, I think, in this, because it's not, to me, going to even make a jump towards the 200 moving average. Maybe if it gets an XLE and energy sympathy bid, then possible, just for exposure, and maybe does that meerkat. I always do that when you guys say meerkat. If you meerkat again to about 1405, I would sell it, because it's not going to do much after that. Nat gas, the worst week of any ETF this week, the natural gas. Number two, we were long thanks to the turtles, and then the turtles praise you, Richard Dennis. It was a false breakout when I got in, so I got out and took a small loss. And look at this, Jets, a great, and it happened right there. 2 days ago was the 52-week high, and look at this, it turned out to being the second worst week of any ETF. It was a big fall, down 5.5%. Is the Jets ETF, some significant give back in the airlines after what, still obviously a great looking chart. What is the tactical, setup here? I want to stay out of this for a little bit. I hope it props up again, because Jets can really move. It's a great looking ETF. When they take it to the upside, they really, really can. I like that it's challenging new highs. But for right now, I'm going to stick out for literally about 2 weeks. I would love if I can enter under 29.35, like literally right here. But I'd rather have this correct in time instead of price. I think it'll hang in just fine. But I want it to cool off from these, this jet setting. See what I did there? Pace move from 28 to 31, just a couple days. I need to let it breathe just a little bit. So yeah, I almost want to sell the 31 calls, but I don't think you're gonna get paid much. You could, I think the top is in for right now, and they've been selling it since. Look at that. Even the 2 days going into it, looks like they were, the day before was down 1/3%, or up 1/3%, and then down 3, down 2. Today's down 20 bips. Like I said, it's down 1% and change a week. I think it'll hang in, but for 2 weeks, I don't want to touch it. So Jets, second worst this week after natural gas. And third, and I had a XLF short today, and then it was a false breakdown, and then I got out of it for a small loss, is the KBWB. And that is not some weird Warner Brothers thing. That is the banks through the Invesco ETF. It is not exactly like XLF, totally different in terms of how much is allocated to Goldman, JP, Morgan Stanley, etc. But this one flagging here down 5%, an average of 1% a day. Today, trying to reverse that trend, up 1/3%. These guys hit highs on Feb the 10th, just 3, I guess, short, long days ago. I don't like the financials right here. On Monday or Wednesday, I forget, we had said, I think the financials are going to hang in, but I just think there's definitely better opportunities to treat your capital. Well, since that, XLF, this ETF, and several others hit 1 month lows today, hence the short, and then it rebounded. I still don't think the rebound is in for like the next 2 weeks, though. So I don't love this one. This looks like it's headed to 83 or even $82. So I do not like the banks here. I guess not so much the AI exposure, but rates are going lower, it seems. TLT is breaking out. All the bond ETFs are breaking out to about 2-month highs today, depending where you are on the curve. So for whatever reasons, that's how the banks are looking right now. The third worst ETF this week: nat gas, airlines, and banks. If you were in those, no bueno. Top 3 trades of the past 5 days: long XLU, so long utilities, long South Korea, long gold miners is how you play this market this week to perfection. I got a runner-up. I'm in XLU now, but I'm in Japan, which has been doing pretty remarkable. All right, top 3 trades of the past 52 weeks. One of my favorite parts, because this really lets me know what is Fugazi and what is for real. And still, the story, people thought it was a sell when it vomited all the way here, got super hungover from Jan 26 to Feb 5th. Crazy move. These are the junior silver miners. So for all you crack addicts out there, this is the ETF for you. This is up 184% year over year. Silver is the risk-on way to play, metals move and gold essentially. Miners are a junior delta way to play on that trend, and the junior silver is the more risk-on way to play. So if you get it, it's almost like a 3x leverage ETF in my head is the way to play it in terms of the delta exposure from the underlying silver. So this looks great though. I love setups under 33.5 to 34. It almost looked like it was trying to do a messy W pattern, and then it fell apart, and now it's having, higher highs or higher lows, which is what you want to see. This was like a false breakdown February 5th. That's when that crazy day. I think silver was down a third in value. So, of course, this had to reprice appropriately. Very few days here under 50 RSI as well. They quickly let you know who was in charge. This is an amazing chart since early June. Just ridiculous. 14 to 40. I think it's gathering strength here. My target is $40 on the button, which is just inside of the prior highs. That is a $7 move from here. Pretty massive. You could buy the stock outright. The ATR on this, if you want to chase it, is 229. So, call it 460. It's a big stop. Given the volatility, it's up 6% today alone, up 184 in the past year. Hence why you give it, you got to let the system breathe. But this looks good here. Like I said, I think it's headed to 40. You could also probably buy the May 40 calls. I would sell something against it, though, because it's going to be super expensive, if liquid at all. But that's a way to play that. You can just buy the stock outright, you crack addicts. It's up 200% year over year, for goodness sakes. Number 2, gold miners, up 143% year over year. This is a great trade, a little bit less risky, too, than the one we just looked at, SILJ. This looks great. I love setups under 99. Again, looks like that train may have left the station. But this looks like it's headed to 113. I think this is even stronger. And I am looking at new all-time high. Very close. It's going to be very, very close. I think it probably has the momentum to do it. Very few days under 50 RSI since August. There is a line of folk to own the gold miners. Very interesting. The biggest volume day all year was Jan 30th, the day after the high. Once this thing puked 13%, and then it sends it to that low, essentially the day after 92. Everyone that wants to be in it is in it. Everyone that sold wanted to get out. That was at pain, and they sent it higher. Trades that come out, if you want to chase this right here, it's a 537 ATR. Call it like $10. Where are we? 104. Again, it's a huge stop. Position it accordingly. Once it moves in your favor, 0.5%, start the pyramid more. Look up the turtle system. It works. Turtles over hares this year. This looks great. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, also you could buy a May. Probably buy the May 13 call, see if it's liquid, and then sell Feb or March against it and continuously roll every 21 days. So you just, inherit the theta. But this looks great. The metals thing is setting up. It happened this week. Again, last thing, because I'm blathering here. This was the Super Bowl Friday. Yeah, it coincided with the lows. The only difference was, it revisited the low level yesterday. That is gold miners, the second best story of the year, okay, of the past 12 months. And then number 3, glad we got to look at it. South Korea, we looked at it before. Second best trade this week. Number 3 on the year. That's how you know it has actual momentum. This is, Steph Curry, hitting shots to win the finals. This isn't Steph Curry not making the playoffs anymore. This is a stallion riding right here, right now. South Korea is it. Silver miners are it. Gold miners are it. South Korea more so because it did the high this week, just literally 24 hours ago. If you can get in, and I'm almost done here, if you can get in around 122, I love it. We already gave you the setup earlier, but this looks great. This is up 137% year over year. The cleanest chart of the 3 we just looked at was gold miners. If you noticed, the 200-day moving average has not been touched by the stock price all year long. So they're not thinking about selling their gold miners. They'd rather, collapse. The silver miners broke out a little bit before, more of a catch-up trade, a lot of fuel on it. South Korea, you didn't have to be in this trade for, 20 years, although this is a 5-year chart on South Korea. It finally took out those 2021 highs. And again, breakout from, you could do this. This is what's amazing about charting. You could do this tactically. You could do it fractally. It rhymes. Listen to Tupac after this. Right here, October 2025, you had a breakout from a former area with overbought registration because you needed both to check off the numbers. And then that was your entry right there. It made you pay that week. Unfortunately, that month, rather, November, went from 99 to 89. That's where ATRs come in into account because you want to know what's noise and what's actually falling apart of trend, like in my Weird Al article. And that's how you get all these green days in a row. Not one, well, these are weeks. This has had every week on fire green since December 15th. So since you had the Christmas tree up, if you have a Christmas tree. Pretty crazy. Back to a 1-year view. So just seeing how that works. And again, it worked here on a 1-year view. Boom. Break up from a former area, overbought, just set it up. You can code it, buy the stock. It just works. You do on anything. It works on single stocks too. Obviously, there's a lot more candidates. Okay. Trades of the year, SILJ, Junior Silver Miners, Gold Miners, South Korea. Happy Valentine's Day. Love you. Thanks for watching.